Back in October, we were invited at the Gloucester Prison for Scare Event Salvation Z. Incredible event. You need to check out the video if you haven't already. And we're back here again to check out a screener of the third shift, A Paranormal Horror Story. The third shift, The Paranormal Horror Story, was filmed on location here at Gloucester Prison, which is why we're making our way through the atmospheric hallways, with the occasional surprise meeting with a cast member. The making of the film was plagued by alleged paranormal occurrences. So, before the screening, Mike and I were given access to sets of static cameras in a locked off A block, just to see if we could capture any evidence of the paranormal during the screening.
So camera number 1 pointing up central stairs. Second camera, room 6. This way. Third camera.
With our cameras now set up, we made our way through the corridors to the chapel.
Enjoy the movie. We won't do a big speech to start with. We can have questions at the end and talk about the movie again. Yeah, enjoy the movie. Hope you ready for a good night?
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. We're expecting one more. You scared? Temperature drop.
Yeah, it was a little bit cold.
It's better to stay together.
I screamed out.
Anybody there?
I don't know. I'm not going back in there. I just want to go home.
After the screening and catching up with the filmmakers and the cast behind this film, we made our way back to A Block to retrieve our equipment. After I was scared by our own recording equipment, we joined everyone for the guided tour through the prison, which featured several of the locations featured in the third shift.
So the seance room up there, it was originally an execution room or condemned cell. So that room, it was the original main lodge, is a double room, which is what they call an ammunition room. That's why we treat it as a seance room. That's what I'm like. Active room. Yeah. Once you finish that room in there, we're going to make our way to C Wing, then this whole field. Okay? So come on round, and we'll go down to C Wing. So it just goes to show you how dark it is when we're filming. They've got night vision, which means it is literally this black.
Fucking hell, Mike. So before we walk down to get the costume, I shout action from the morgue. Lucy and Rob and Jim are here. They get the camera set up. Obviously, they walk down because it's found footage. Whatever they film, they have to then just do. You know, we have to edit later. When we stopped in the morgue to check the footage, because we had to film it 2 or 3 times, we checked the footage. Throughout the whole of the footage was twisted nerve whistling. But when we were checking the footage in Morgue, where you're about to go now, outside of Morgue, we heard footsteps coming up to Morgue. We're just going to experience how it was for the actors on the night, pitch black, so just don't move around, don't do any star jumps or cartwheels. Right, have you got any questions about the movie so far? We're going to do new workshops, which is the old medieval burial ground, and then we'll head back to the chapel. So, you all happy? Any questions? Come on then, let's do the movie. Criminals will hole holes in this area
as a sort of example to people visiting Gloucester to not commit crime, because there have been hundreds of criminals just strapped up rotting away here. They did find quite a lot of that in this section. This is medieval ground, it's great actually for investigators. But what's quite interesting is when I bring groups of people on tours, whether it's daytime tours, candlelight tours, ghost hunts, whatever, nobody walks across the ground, they all kind of walk around this section. What we're going to do now, we'll head back to A Wing, go up A Wing stairs and through to the chapel, you can collect the things, and then we'll get you on your merry way if you like.
Gloucester Prison closed in 2014, leaving behind a legacy of isolation, darkness and death. Notoriously named the UK's most haunted prison, the location inevitably had an impact on the third shift's production. We joined filmmakers Clive Barzillia and Ricky Gunter in the chapel one last time for an exclusive interview. Hi folks, I'm joined by co-directors Clive Barzillia and Ricky Gunter, who just got out of the screening for their film The Third Shift. So guys, tell me a bit about the film and how it came about, like what set the groundwork.
So a couple of years ago, we sort of was playing with a place in the Forest of Dean. We were looking at sort of a found footage style movie based upon our years together in the scare acting industry. Yeah. You see a lot of stuff that you think, oh, that'll make a nice movie. Yeah. That would make a nice movie. And then all of a sudden we just thought, we should actually do it. Yeah.
It was the setting.
It was the setting, wasn't it? Yeah, it was.
Mist come down on the lake. It was great.
We were faffing around with a drone on the day, and it was like, do you know what? This is it. This reminds me of Evil Dead 2. That start-up scene going through the woods, and it was like, we need to do something like, found footage style. Both fans of Blair Witch and whatever. Yeah. And then we tried to do that, set it up, and then we failed miserably with the councils because it's so expensive to get and also like really awkward about what you're filming, whether it associates damage to the reputation, all this sort of stuff. And we were doing stuff here anyway with Andy in the prison. So I mentioned it to Andy one day about we're trying to make this horror movie and it's going a bit wrong, blah blah. And he said, well, why don't you just use the prison? And we were like, well, because it costs. And he was like, don't be so soft, just get on and do it like that. And he said, I've always wanted to make a movie for years anyway. Yeah. So just do it. And we were like, well, okay. Let's do it. And what we'll do is we use the scare actors that we already got on the books for the Salvation event. Oh, brilliant. So we'll just grab the actors and go for it. And that's what we did, So we had full backing from Cracking Day Limited.
A lot of to and fro's with the ideas.
A lot of to and fro's with ideas. And also it meant that our budget wasn't, because location's the biggest part of the budget. Oh, God, yeah. So for us, to have the locations budget disappear meant that we could just be creative and get on with it, So that was the thing. Then it was a case of, we need actors that can work late into the night. We need actors that are just going to let us do what we want to them. No kids, basically. Yeah. But I will say that when we started, the whole idea was not to let the actors know script. There's no script. We had a story idea, storyboard.
It's like we had production notes, and we knew what we wanted to achieve. Yeah. And we would just say to the actors, right, go down that corridor.
So they
had no idea what was going to happen. We just made it happen.
And but that way, the reactions were natural. Yeah. The responses were very real, and also the heart rate and the tempo was reactionary. It was a natural impulse, and that's what we filmed. So retakes were kind of not on the cards at all. We had to just go for it and make sure it happened. So you couldn't run down a corridor and do a bang and expect to do the same thing twice. It's not going to happen. We'd rather go to a different zone, wouldn't we, and do another thing rather than refilm the first thing. So that's why you'll see in the movie different areas like C wing, A wing, B wings, because we couldn't revisit the same scare again.
Once you lose the reaction, that's it.
It's gone. One and done, basically. Then.
Yeah.
I'm curious. Gloucester Prison plays a key role in the film. It's pretty much almost a character in itself. I think you might have kind of answered this already, but what came first, the location or the idea for the film?
Location one.
Well, no, idea for the film came first. It was a couple of years ago. Yeah.
That was
that film, wasn't it? But yeah.
We took bits of it and put it into this one. Yeah. But we did have to move
adjust
it quick.
Yeah, because obviously the setting. When we first did the movie, we did introductions, and we did them in an area that was. We did the introductions in another area of the prison, but it was just too echoey. Yeah. So we actually decided to cut those out, and then instead of sort of having, because that was kind of the fake bit of the whole video the first time. So on this time, we sort of sent them a little statement.
and said, do it at home, do it in your car, do it as paranormal.
Like you're recording it for the YouTube channel.
So we just said kind of like, here's what we want you to say in subject matter. Here's the 5 subjects we want you to cover.
Yeah.
Do it. Just go for it. And they we had those videos back, and they were great actually, weren't they?
Yeah.
Like
you
know.
have to get them to redo them. It's perfect first time. That's what's in the film.
Yeah. So.
Found footage out of research in the 90s after the success of the Blair Witch Project, and it's remained pretty popular in the horror genre itself. Was that like a key factor, and like how did you input that into your film? Took a bit of a turn and went into a little bit of grindhouse territory. So like, what were your like influences for the film, basically?
Well, definitely Blair Witch, like you said.
Yeah.
Pretty much all found footage, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, we love
everything goes
yeah,
Blair Witch.
all the stuff like
But what we didn't want to do is a total rehash of the Blair Witch.
What's been done before, basically.
That's why when ours takes the turn.
Because paranormal investigators come here regularly. They come here every week.
Really?
They come here and they search for ghosts, and it's a big thing. They find ghosts, they find paranormal activity. It's one of the most haunted places in the UK. Wow. So for us, if you think about the Blair Witch, they took on a legend. They went out then, found the legend, and it happened to them. So we kind of thought, well, actually, what happens if we throw a bunch of actors in here with a camera?
In the pitch black.
In the pitch black. and we'll see what happens, and stuff did happen that was out of our control.
I was going to say that kind of leads to my next question now. Obviously, it's meant to be one of the most haunted places in the UK, the most haunted prison in the UK. What, if anything, did happen behind the scenes while you were making the film?
Well, first of all, obviously from an editing point of view, when I go through all the footage, you've got a set of headphones on, and you can hear every single pin drop, every murmur, because obviously you're going to edit them into those shots.
Yeah, God, yeah.
And immediately I'm stopping on things going, what is that? And what is that? And it took me hours and hours to get through those first few scenes, because I'm thinking that was not us at all. And that's quite interesting, especially when you hear like Get Out or a screech, or and you're thinking like, what on earth is that? Like, genuinely in the seance room there was a Get Out, and it was like these guys are sat there just looking at the camera, But another thing that's happening is like you're filming the footage you want to take, because it's found footage. You're filming all of the footage.
Yeah.
So there's other stuff that we had not made in the movie that you go, wow, they weren't acting at that point. They weren't kind of in part of it. We were ready to say action. We were getting them ready, but they were still recording.
Yeah.
And we're capturing other stuff, So so it's quite interesting.
So obviously, Rick, I know you said about you had a bit of an incident with that ball.
The ball.
Like, what happened?
So down on B wing, we give them the ball.
Boring scene.
Our plan was
meant to be dead.
They put the ball down. The ball just sits there. That's not what happened. We're stood at the back in the corner, and the ball just starts to move. And in the
by itself,
by yourself, and in the movie, all that movement of this ball is not us. It's not remote control. It's nothing like that. As you can see, it's hollow.
It is quite light, so you could think it could be wind or whatever, but
someone's last night asked
someone had debunked it, I expect, but so
not a fan of touching that.
Someone asked us last night, how did you do the ball? And it was like, we didn't do the ball. The ball just moved on its own. And they said, no, you must have used wind. So I said, if I'd used wind,
it would have just gone one direction.
It would have just carried on going. It would not have stopped like it does in the movie. So.
But we didn't tell the actors.
The actors never knew.
We just stood around the corner going.
So the actors come along,
it's
put the ball down, and they don't know what's going to happen. They don't know if the ball's supposed to move or not move. And so the ball started to move, and they just acted with it because they didn't know it was no different. They thought we was controlling it. We're just stood in the background. This is Dodo.
It's the best. It's like wicked, brilliant. Carry on, I didn't want to slam the door really to end it. It was like, right, okay, But at the same time, you're sort of still thinking, perhaps we should end it.
The ball does go to a cell up on the B wing, and it goes
cell
to
17.
Is there like a story behind that cell in particular?
There's nothing really you can find, because most of prison service records are undisclosed. They're secret as it would be. So, in 35 years, you probably find out what the story is.
Yeah, probably.
Who knows? Perhaps we'll talk to an old officer or governor and find if there's anything else.
And there's door bangs in the movie that we didn't do.
Yeah, lots of that. Crikey, that's just constant.
Really?
There's only 2 of us, and
you'll hear 3 or 4 bangs.
We can't be banging that many doors that quick.
Wow, okay.
So as they're running down through a wing, and there's door bang here.
But it's not kind. You don't realise until you do the edit, because you're kind of you're in the
It's
moment
caught
you're
up in the
filming. They're
moment,
running.
aren't you?
You
Yeah.
don't know if they're banging doors because we're not filming. We're
Wow.
directing, so obviously they're just filming because it's found footage.
Yeah.
So when they're running off into the dark, remember it's pitch black for us.
Yeah.
We can only just see the lights of some of the UV stuff, and we're kind of going, right, why are they banging doors? Like, what's going on? Oh, well, never mind.
Have
And
they
then-
gone through a wrong way?
Yeah,
to
it's
shut
like
the
what's
door?
going. So, but that's what the randomness is what we wanted, and then
Yeah.
suddenly you go to edit and you go,
That
hang
wasn't
on,
us.
it wasn't them and it wasn't us. So great, like, it was great footage. Let's keep going, like so, yeah, so, yeah.
And then the night that we done the ball, it was in B wing, and that was cold down in that.
Yeah.
And then that happened.
Temperature drop's the thing, isn't it?
It's really weird out there.
But even like the other night coming in, switched the lights on, we went into education. It condensated. And as we went up the stairs, we saw footprints in the wet.
I'd be turning
It was
the
all
other
locked
way.
off,
I
and we were
just
just
I
like,
would be
what-
walking the other way.
what's
the
that
second I
about,
saw
like, you
that.
know?
I was
yeah,
like,
so-
Clive, it's you. You've been up in here. So he's put his foot
So
down.
I was like, check the souls out there.
No,
you know,
it's
so,
different
some
for
souls, yeah.
Oh,
So it's quite interesting.
Hurry up, Clive. Turn
But then
it
we're
on, let's go.
debunking it straight away, going, it must be dirt from another person.
Yeah,
you
somebody
know,
else
it must be.
But then we
oil,
go up
you know,
there
so-
today.
It's there, all gone. There's it.
Nothing
So,
there.
So what's next for the third shift? Are we doing the festival circuit or online release?
We're going to enter some festivals this year.
yeah.
Try our luck there, innit? So we're looking at streaming for release. Hopefully we can get it distributed with someone.
Oh wow, okay. Are we doing another film? Is it going to be a sequel, The Fourth Shift?
Oh.
Or
Do you know the Murder Man?
no? Who's the murder man?
The
Do you
Murder
know
Man.
the murder?
Who lives on Jury Lane?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So yeah, so no, we think we've got another location in mind.
Okay.
We've got another idea, and it's going to be pretty much like urban legend. type
It's not.
stuff,
It's not going to be found footage.
not found footage.
Okay.
Never again.
No.
Never again.
No,
no.
no.
Found footage we thought would be easy. No,
It's
that's-
probably I got to say, when I watch a found footage movie now, I've got a new appreciation for the edit people who do found
Oh
footage,
wow.
because
okay.
the sequence of events and the editing together, because you don't have an endless retake schedule.
Yeah, you just got to keep going.
You
isn't
can
it?
have different angles. You can have music and all this
Yeah.
sort
It's
of
all
thing.
gone, yeah. So
So-
what's missing from like the drama and build up and music is not there. So
Yeah,
You
it's,
take the music out of Jaws.
yeah, it's just the camera moving through the water.
Yeah.
We're trying to build tension with no music to build tension with.
I mean, I thought it was done well in the sense that I was like waiting for something to jump
Yeah,
out
yeah.
when they were walking down like the corridors and all
I
that.
think I think we didn't do ourselves favours with what we done with this one. If we had just stuck to normal paranormal found footage, then it might have been easier.
Yeah.
But what we done with this one, it all of a sudden you got too many cameras. You got to think who's holding the camera. Why
Yeah.
is it going that way? Why is it doing this?
the cameraman, when you say to him he has to follow the actors through the scene,
Yeah.
you forget they're in absolute pitch black because the camera's behind them.
Oh yeah.
They've got no torches. They've got no torches or any light. So they're walking into absolute pitch black. So when things go wrong and they turn and run, they're running in absolute pitch black. So the cameraman's the only one that can see because
Yeah.
he's got night vision on the screen. But even he's running on the
He's
screen.
on
so
this
you know,
little screen. That's his big.
yeah. So so when you flip things, that's the sort of things you don't think about. When you say to the actors, right, I want you to run down that really dark corridor with the cameraman following you, they're like, it's really, really pitch black. And you're like, oh yeah, of course, that's a problem. Of course, you don't want torches because
Yeah.
it ruins the whole, like, you know, night vision type.
Anyone run into any doors or anything?
Really, well, it was crazy, wasn't it, really? So, and it's not until they get back moaning that you're like, well, sorry, like, no, but yeah.
I did walk into the fire extinguisher that was coming out the wall.
Oh, yeah.
And I was pushing the page down. So I'm going like this, and it's like, bang, and I take my shoulder out with the fire extinguisher. It's pitch bloody black, all I can see.
Be anything like.
So yeah, new appreciation for found footage movies. Rewatch them, you sort of go, do you know what, that was
must have
hard
been difficult.
work. Yeah, so especially Blair Witch. The amount of
Yeah.
editing must have been phenomenal. So,
There's hours and hours worth of footage.
well,
they were-
going through the woods, for instance, like, you know, for instance, here, cathedral bells going off, airplanes going across, boy racers going down the road. You lose
yeah.
all that element is in it, and you lose scenes.
So, for our final question, first you, Clive, what would your favourite horror film be?
Evil Dead 2.
Evil Dead 2.
100%, yeah, so, you know, so...
I did pick up on nuances of that, especially
yeah,
the opening
yeah,
credits
it's
bit.
all there, yeah, so, favourite bit, you know, Ash gets thrown through the woods, lands in the puddle, comes back, you know, great,
Yeah.
possessed, and then not possessed, and, you know, because the sun comes up and whatever. I think for me, Evil Dead 2 made on the tiniest of budgets,
Yeah.
middle of the woods, loads of actors, loads of directors, smashed it out in no time at all, and that's
Yeah.
kind of the essence, you know, it's great.
Yeah.
And I think that's where the raw horror comes from, is that when you get a group of people together, like-minded, with a small budget, just do it, innit? You know, that's kind of, you know, I think that's it, innit, really, so.
What about you, Ricky?
This Exorcist.
The original?
Original.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I first watched The Exorcist, I had dived into the true story of it. So
Oh,
when
wow,
I went
okay.
in, when I watched The Exorcist, I took a little bit too much interest in it. And yeah, it just scared the shit out of me. Yeah, it got in my head a bit.
So that's everything, Clive, Vicky. Thank you for joining me for this interview, and thank you for the invite. Really enjoyed the film, and yeah, we'll hopefully see it again soon. So, thanks, folks.
Adam, stop behind you.
Don't do that.
Adam, what's that?
No, what is it?
That's not funny. That's it. We're going. We're going.
But wait, I hear you say. What about the 3 cameras we set up earlier in the night to try and catch some paranormal activity? Adam and I set up the cameras on the bottom floor of A block, trying to capture as many nooks and crannies as possible. The main issue we had was noise contamination from the screen, and we thought we were far enough away, but unfortunately all 3 cameras picked up the same sound from the screening. We set up our first camera right in front of the stairs, but neglected to actually turn it on to record. Our second camera was in cell C, facing towards the door, just in case the door would swing open or creak, or the bed would move, or somebody would walk past the door in the corridor. The last camera to set up, but the second one to start recording, was our mini cam that we put at the other end of A block. We pointed it back towards our camera, pointing towards the stairs, and looking at a trigger object, a ball, to see if it would move. "9 minutes and 40 seconds in, the camera died. Fortunately for us, we still had that camera in cell C, as well as our camera pointing towards the... Yep, that also died. The only camera that we had running that actually filled the SD card was the camera in cell C. I've sped the footage up even more just so you can see that the light is gradually fading outside the door. Though this is likely not paranormal, it's the only visual evidence we got on those 3 cameras. I say visual evidence because we actually picked something up around about 39 minutes into camera cell C. You'll hear muffled, echoed dialogue from the screening, followed by a breath, followed by more dialogue from the screening. The reason I point this out is because the breath doesn't have an echo on it, and it sounds like it's coming from the cell. The last piece of evidence we did capture wasn't actually on one of these 3 cameras. The footage I'm about to show you is from my handheld camera that I was using to shoot us setting up the cameras. Bear in mind we were given access to the locked A block to be able to conduct this experiment. Furthermore, after looking at this footage, we contacted Clive and Ricky to find out if anybody accessed A block whilst we were setting up. Just to remind you as well, earlier on in the video, you saw what was set up as a seance room in the trailer for the film. Clive also mentions the seance room, previously an execution room, during the tour of A block. Clive further mentioned the seance room in the interview that we had with him and Ricky, also mentioning activity from the seance room. The reason I'm reminding you of this is because this is the seance room door. Did you see it? When I picked my camera up, you can see the seance door. It's bright orange, and as the camera moves down and then back again, you can see what looks like a figure move into the doorway. Almost like somebody's looking out to see what we're doing, inspecting what we're doing. Is it paranormal?